All right, let's now return to our top story, and that's the situation in Syria. Of course, Syria's neighbors, including Turkey, have once again called on President Bashar al-Assad's regime to stop its crackdown on anti-government protesters in the country. We're now joined by Mehmet Celebi. He's a fellow at the Institute for Social Policy and Understanding, joins us live from Chicago in the United States. And I understand, sir, that you have close contacts with the Turkish government, and I want us, before we start our discussion, to listen to what the Turkish Foreign Minister Ahmet Davutoglu had to say earlier today about the situation in Syria after visiting, of course, the country last week. Here's what he had to say.
These operations must immediately stop. Armies should withdraw from the cities and life should go back to normal. If the operations do not end, nothing will be left to say about the steps that would be taken. Turkey will be with the Syrian people in the same way Turkey was with the Egyptian people and others in the Middle East.
All right, so Mr. Celebi, what do these unspecified steps that the Turkish foreign minister is talking about mean exactly? And is this a threat to Syria?
I'm actually having a hard time hearing you breaking up, but I think I heard the question. Turkey actually, from the very beginning, including the message that the Foreign Minister Davutoglu gave today, has been on the side of using engagement in a peaceful manner all until the very, very end. And what we're getting into as a consequence of what's going on in Syria actually is potentially, possibly Turkey drawing a very thick line between what's happening currently and what Turkish policy is. And from what I mean by that is potentially we're heading towards a disengagement. And that's a very, very strong message given by Turkey, because you have to notice that unlike any other country in the region or far away that it's been giving messages and warnings to Syria, the message that Turkey gives has very strong consequences and noted very, very strongly. And as such, the fact that Turkey may be heading to that direction is something that Turkey hopes the regime will take note of, and of course the public. The message today was to the public and to the regime.
But what action can we concretely see Turkey take against Syria? I mean, the Turks are clearly frustrated increasingly. We've heard certainly a change of tone from the Turks in recent weeks, the language getting much stronger, but at the same time, Turkey is an important trading partner for Syria, and yet, unlike the US or the European Union, they haven't imposed sanctions on the Syrian government, and they haven't called for Bashar al-Assad to step down. So what action concretely can we expect from the Turks?
Well, I mean, obviously there are several steps that can be taken. The point of delegitimization is certainly a trump card that Turkey has if it goes to that point. We're not there yet right now. Turkey still, even today, believes that there are measures that Syrian administration can take in stopping violence, in moving things. As you know, the meeting last week, there were certain assurances given to Turkey regarding some of those steps. And of course, a couple of them, only small of them, was the withdrawal of troops from Hama and the allowance of the international media to come in. But Turkey has several options to take, and Turkey is the only one that's going to decide when those options will be taken. Not through pressure or not through any kind of guidance from any other country. It's when Turkey thinks that that's the step that needs to be taken, Turkey will do that.
All right.
Including the legitimization, as I mentioned.
Okay, now I understand that you recently met with the Syrian president. Do you think he'll be responsive to this pressure from Turkey, which is a neighbor and also a very strong ally for him, or do you think we've reached a point where he's simply not going to listen to anyone?
Well, I mean, if you were him, yes, we had a 4.5-hour meeting with President Assad, and we discussed very openly all these points that I just mentioned and the foreign minister mentioned in a very open and friendly atmosphere, but very, very serious atmosphere. And we made certain recommendations. So we came out of the meeting with few thoughts. One of the thoughts that I had that concerned me was the fact that the president was extremely calm in light of what was taking place on the streets. And I thought that the matter, the situation required for him to be a bit more concerned. Not that he wasn't concerned, but he was talking about the implementation of plans and reforms as though there was nothing going on the streets. And that was really something concerning to me, because we thought that things were dangerously escalating on the streets and that he had to take immediate reforms. Of course, Turkey, as I mentioned, is a major trading partner and has several things that it can do. Whether military option is an option or not is not a discussion that Turkey is willing to engage at the moment, because things like that, as we've seen, sometimes do not lead to any results. And it's a decision that the international community will take.
Okay.
But certainly before we even reach that point, there are several options to do.
All right. Thank you very much for speaking to us. That's Mehmet Celebi, a fellow at the Institute for Social Policy and Understanding, and also president-elect of the Turkish American Assembly. Thanks for your time.